that they're local and they understand how important that is. Their exceptional customer service isn't just words on a page. It's what they do. It's what they've always done for over 41 years. Call 833-7-NETWORK today. HMO and POS plans underwritten by Network Health Plan. Compensation has been provided for using this endorsement of Network Health.
We see you out there making the most of every moment, one big, bright idea at a time. At Blaine's, we're glad to be part of it by offering best-in-class products and solutions at unbeatable farm and fleet prices. Right now, during our 70th anniversary sale, 50-pound bags of Diamond Crystal Softener Salt Crystals, $6.49. Rewards members save an extra buck. And 50-foot Yellow Jacket extension cords, half price, $24.99. Rewards members save an extra $5. Find value on the things you value. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Being original.
When you breathe well, you live better. Find out more at adventknows.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers won 8-2 Friday night against the St. Louis Cardinals. The Crew continued their series tonight against the Cards from home with first pitch at 7:15 p.m. Our coverage for the game starts right after the news here on WTMJ with Brewers Warmup. And the Packers have 1 week until Sunday before they take on the Cleveland Browns at Huntington Bank Field at noon. And the Wisconsin Badgers lost to the Alabama Crimson Tide Saturday afternoon in Tuscaloosa, losing 38-14. The Badgers take on the University of Maryland next week from Camp Randall. Badger Sports Updates are sponsored by Sign Unlimited, Sighting, and a whole lot more. Taking a look at your roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We have no major incidents out on the roads at this time, so it should be a smooth drive for all of southeast Wisconsin. All right, time for your WTMJ 5-day forecast. That's going to be partly to mostly cloudy with a low of 62 degrees. Sunday is going to be sunny, warmer inland with a high of 78 degrees. Monday is looking to be mostly sunny, warmer inland with a high of 78 degrees. Tuesday is going to be sunny as well with a high of 80 degrees. Wednesday is going to be sunny with a high of 82 degrees. And Thursday we'll see a chance of showers with a high of 78 degrees. Right now in Madison, it's currently 78 degrees. In Green Bay, it's 71 degrees. In Waukesha, it's 74 degrees. Right here in Milwaukee, it's 70 degrees. I'm Sean Brinda. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 6:07.
This is Brewers Warm-Up with Dominic Cotroneo. Your lineups, manager insights, and a preview of tonight's game right now. This is Brewers Warm-Up. Here's your host, Dominic Cotroneo.
Brewers and Cardinals, game 2 of a 3-game series as the Brewers are already level with the Cardinals in the season series. They have a chance to try to take the series today and keep gaining ground on the Chicago Cubs and the magic number. The Brewers got some good news earlier today with the Cubs falling to the Rays 5-4. Nick Fortes, a go-ahead homer in the 9th inning. And the Brewers' magic number falls to 10. Now, it could, or rather to 9, I should say, as we're all over the place here at the start of the program. But then it can go to 8 with a win tonight. Now, there's a lot of confusion about whether or not the Brewers have already clinched a playoff spot. Well, the answer is kinda. So every tiebreaker scenario that you go through, it ends up with the Brewers as the 6 in the absolute worst case, 1 in 10 billion chance probability of the Brewers lose out, the Giants win out, and let's say the Mets win out. Like all the craziest scenarios that you can imagine. Because of the way that the tiebreakers work out, it seems as though the Brewers have already technically clinched a playoff spot. But obviously there are bigger and better on the way that Brewers fans are getting excited about. We are keeping an eye on the Mets and the Rangers because that's the first one that was part of this projected sort of, hey, if the Mets lose, no matter what the Brewers do, they'll know if they're in the playoffs or not. Well, that game is 2-2, Rangers and Mets in the top of the 9th inning in Queens. So that will be decided by the time we're done here on WTMJ. The other game is later tonight out west, the Dodgers and the Giants. That is at 8:05 Central Time. So we'll have a result on that during Brewers Extra Innings later tonight, whether or not the Brewers win tonight. But the easiest way to do it, as Pat Murphy always says, win tonight. That is how they can easily clinch a postseason berth officially. They can improve their magic number and try to get one step closer to the playoffs. 14 games to go, including today, as the Brewers get ready for the Cardinals. It'll be Jacob Mizorowski on the mound today. The Miz, 5-2, a 4.09 ERA, coming off of one of his best outings as a big leaguer. That was against the Pirates on Sunday. 7 strong, just 3 hits, 1 run. It was earned, only 2 walks and 8 strikeouts. That's been a key development for Miz the last couple of outings, where he has been limiting the walks. He only has 4 walks in his last 16 1/3 innings. Now, that may sound like, well, for him, given how many pitches he's been throwing lately, that is good news. Furthermore, very quietly, the strikeouts continue to tick up for Miz. He's still averaging better than a strikeout per inning. He's got 77 Ks in 55 innings this year, and he's facing a team that, well, strikes out a lot in the St. Louis Cardinals and can try to feast on this lineup. On the other side, it'll be Sonny Gray. The ace of the Cardinals has had a really rough year. 13-8, a 4.45 ERA. He is a qualified pitcher, 163 innings, still got 179 strikeouts, refuses to walk anybody, only 35 walks on the season. However, he's had at least 3 walks in 3 consecutive starts. That is not the Sonny Gray that we're used to. He had 4 in his last outing against the Giants. He got the win in that game, giving up 3 runs working into the 6th. But the start prior to that, against the Athletics in St. Louis, 6 innings, 11 hits, 7 earnies, 3 homers, 3 walks, and 5 strikeouts against his original organization. So it's been an odd September for Sonny Gray. 11 innings, 7 walks, 11 strikeouts, and 10 earned runs allowed. Here is the lineup that the Brewers are going to send out there against Sonny Gray. Pretty similar to last night. Sal Frelick leading off. He is in right field. Jackson Chourio will bat second. He is in center. Bryce Terang hits third, playing second base once again. The cleanup hitter is William Contreras behind the plate, facing his brother. Christian Yelich hits fifth for a second consecutive game. He homered yesterday. He's DHing. Isaac Collins in left. He'll hit sixth. Jake Bowers is over at first base. He'll bat seventh. Caleb Durbin in the 8th spot for the Crew. He's our pregame guest today in a moment. Durbin is playing third. And Joey Ortiz rounds out the order for the Brewers. He is the shortstop batting ninth. If it sounds familiar, because it is. It's the same lineup as last night in the Brewers' victory over the Cardinals by an 8-2 final. For St. Louis, their lineup's pretty familiar as well. A couple tweaks at the bottom. Brendan Donovan will lead things off. He's at second. Ivan Herrera, he got hit in the hand yesterday. He's okay. He's DHing, batting second. Alec Burleson is in left field. He'll hit third. Wilson Contreras cleaning up again as the first baseman. Lars Nootbaar will play right field and bat fifth. Thomas Sajazi is over at short, and he'll hit sixth. Some news from the Cardinals today on their shortstop. Nolan Gorman is at third again. He is batting seventh. Pedro Pajes behind the plate today. He'll hit eighth. And finally, Victor Scott gets into the order today. The center fielder bats ninth. The news from the Cardinals is that Mason Wynn's season is over. They have placed him on the injured list with a torn meniscus in his knee, and he will miss the rest of the year. The presumptive Gold Glove favorites in the National League for shortstops. You know, we mentioned it a moment ago. Caleb Durbin is going to be our pregame guest. Got 5 good minutes with Caleb coming up on the other side of the break. Then after that, we're going to talk a little bit about what the Brewers have in store for their pitching staff and for their first baseman. So first we'll talk about the 3-man weave that they've got going on with Jake Bowers, Rhys Hoskins, and Andrew Vaughn. And then also, what's Jacob Mizorowski's role going to be coming to October? All of that is to come on an extended edition of Brewers Warmup today. Brewers, Cardinals, Game 2 of a 3-game set. Caleb Durbin's next on 620 WTMJ.
John Mercure here for Serta Pro Painters. They painted the outside of our house. It was fantastic. I've got a big deck. They really had to navigate on 2 levels. The guys took their time. They paid attention to detail. They did it right around the deck. My whole house looks fantastic. Trim and siding, it's great. It's Serta Pro Painters. Schedule fills up fast, so now's the time to plan your project. Schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Serta with a C for your home or business. Each Serta Pro Painters business is independently owned and operated. They are the best. They're Serta Pro Painters.
Politics, work, daily stressors. Let's take a break from all that and get centered, Christ-centered. I'm Pastor Tim Butker. Join me each week for Christian Crusaders, a broadcast that highlights the gospel, the good news of Jesus, and our belief in the authoritative Word of God. Christ-centered, gospel-oriented, Bible-based Christian Crusaders. Please join us Sundays at 6 a.m. on WTMJ. We'd love to have you worship with us.
Gene Miller here for my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. Unfortunately, it's not too early to start thinking about those upcoming heating bills. At Hometown's huge New Berlin showroom, you can compare energy-efficient windows from Anderson, Pella, Marvin, and more. Like me, you'll get a dedicated project consultant to guide you to the products that best fit your home, style, and budget, along with employee carpenters who respect your home. Do what I did. Contact Hometown Windows and Doors today. Hometown with an E for your every window and door need. 414-329-1200 or online at hometownwindows.com.
Fall in Milwaukee, where the air is crisp, the drinks are cold, and the good times are just heating up. Stroll Milwaukee's lakefront and explore its parks as they burst into a kaleidoscope of golds, ambers, and reds. Raise a glass at a beer garden that feels like a neighborhood block party, Milwaukee style. And just as the temps fall, Brewers baseball is turning up the heat. October dreams are made right here. This season, every color, every cheer, every sip, it all comes together in Milwaukee. Craft your perfect getaway at visitmilwaukee.org.
Now, more of Brewers Warmup on WTMJ.
Welcome back on Brewers Warmup. I'm Dom Cotroneo. Brewers and Cardinals getting ready for Game 2 of the 3-game series. Pleased to be joined by Caleb Durbin. And Caleb, yesterday you had a mad dash to the plate on a sacrifice fly, and before we know it, the ball's off your helmet and it's going to the dugout. So it's a big win yesterday, but let's just go to that play first. The send was aggressive, and then all of a sudden, did you even feel the ball off your helmet? And you look up and 2 more runs are on the board.
Yeah, I didn't really feel it at first. It kind of took me a while to understand what happened. I was like, where'd the ball go? Then I realized that I just soccer-headed it into our dugout, which obviously led to another run, so I was stoked about that. But luckily got me right on the meaty part of the helmet, so I didn't feel it too much.
When you look at this team and that inning in particular, that just felt like the most Brewers-y inning that you guys have had all season. When those sort of, you've described it as sharks in the water, you smell blood, but I mean, there was one hit in that inning and it was a bunt, right? What's the conversation like when these things continue to happen with the big crooked number innings?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of our, I've said it before, our identity in a way is just trying to put pressure on the pitcher and on the defense any way we can. And when it works out like that, it's, next thing you know, we got a 4 spot, and, obviously there's a lot of ball left, but obviously huge getting out to a big lead early. So, I think just our ability to score runs in different ways has kind of, helped us a lot throughout the entire season.
What have you learned now in your rookie year in the big leagues of just, you come up at the end of April, it feels like a whirlwind, and then you're going on your road trips, you're going to San Francisco, you hit your first big league homer, but then is there a moment where it realizes, like, okay, this is every day now, this is the big leagues? What has that adjustment been like for you?
Yeah, I think throughout the year you really get a good understanding and learn what it takes to compete at this level day in and day out, because there's no breaks. Obviously you have off days every now and then, the All-Star break, but coming in, every single day you have to be ready to play, and if you're not ready, you're going to be exposed. And I learned that really early. Luckily I learned that early, and once I got a better feel of kind of what it takes to really compete, the mindset, the physical preparation, the mental preparation, because it is different than the minor leagues. There's it can be a faster game up here if you let it be, so you kind of just have to take it in stride. And I think after I really learned what it was like to compete and play winning baseball at this level, everything kind of slowed down a little bit.
When you learned that you were coming to the show and then you arrive in the box back in April, now that you've had space to kind of absorb that moment, and just the ovation that you got is just the first thing that jumps out to me. When you remember that moment for the rest of your life, what sticks out to you about the day you made your debut here in Milwaukee?
Yeah, obviously coming up, it wasn't a huge prospect coming up through the minor leagues, so you're kind of just scrapping to get a shot at the big leagues. And then you get up and you don't really know what to expect as far as, do fans even know who I am? They're probably thinking, who is this guy? But kind of, the support that I kind of felt on the debut, I think everyone, kind of rallies around the new guys, and wants them to do well. You feel that from the fans. You feel like they want you to do well and perform, and that's kind of what I remembered from my debut.
We're chatting with Caleb Durbin here on 620 WTMJ. Caleb, you look at your season defensively, and the numbers at third are very impressive. And if I can speak freely, I think a lot of us in spring training were just kind of asking questions about your glove and what you would be able to do at third base. Have you been able to sort of find a routine and find something that works for you at third base to perform the way that's gone so well? And what do you attribute all that to?
Yeah, I think I've always felt like I was a good defender. I think you get up to the big leagues for your first time at a position, I've become more accustomed to third base throughout the last couple years in the minor leagues, but before that really had never played it. So you're kind of learning on the fly a little bit at the highest level, and I think those game reps are just big. You kind of, all of a sudden you're making plays that you haven't made before, and your confidence starts to grow a little bit, and it kind of turns into the snowball effect to where you start making more plays, and then your confidence gets even higher to where ideally you're at a point where the ball's hit anywhere near you, you feel comfortable that you're going to make the play. And probably took a little while to get there, a few months, but being around Joey and Bryce and our whole defense as a whole, Murph, obviously, you guys know how important he takes defense and all the little things. So you kind of have to be a good defender on this team if you want to play. So I kind of just embraced that.
So as we get ready to say goodbye, I got to ask the status of your group chats back home. You're a Northside kid, spotted wearing a cheese head on Thursday, rocking a Micah Parsons jersey. What's the flack like right now, given, it can be a little animosity between Bears and Packers fans? Are your friends forgiving you, or how did all that go down?
It was a lot of throw-up emojis. I sent a few pictures of Lambeau and the cheesehead in the group chat, and they were not pleased. But there's actually one Green Bay Packer fan in my group chat, and he was loving it because he's always giving crap to my other buddies about the Packers beating the Bears' butts throughout the years. So it was fun. Obviously, they understand that I'm a Wisconsin fan now. Being in Milwaukee, and but yeah, that's definitely they didn't like it too much.
You'll survive, but Lambeau's worth it, right?
Yeah, Lambeau was awesome. Great atmosphere, super electric game. Wisconsin fans in general, they show out for their sport teams.
Caleb Durbin joining us here on Brewers Warmup, getting ready for Game 2 of Cardinals and Brewers. Caleb, thanks for the time. Best of luck. Good health the rest of the year.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Back with more after this on 620 WTMJ.
You'll get a new heat pump system, a new furnace, and a full home duct cleaning all together as a package at about half price. Half price! That's how it all shakes out. Not a gimmick. And both the furnace and the heat pump system are high-quality units. This is Anthony Zanevsky. All you have to do is purchase a heat pump system from Quality, and you'll get a free furnace and a free duct cleaning. All totaled, the cost would be about $20,000. When you add in the new tax incentives that you'll get back at the end of the year, you're going to end up paying about half. That's about $10,000 for a high-quality furnace, heat pump system, and a full home duct cleaning. It's limited time. And last time we did this, the units went pretty fast. So if your home needs a new furnace upgrade and a heat pump system that can act as a brand new AC system as well as a furnace backup, take advantage while you can and cut your energy bills substantially. Call Quality and get them while they're hot.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
The vibrant fall colors and cooler temperatures make for great days out on the golf course. The Island invites you to experience the best of fall golf with late season rounds at Sweetgrass or Sage Run. Fall golf rates run September 15th through the end of the 2025 season, with tee times starting at $75 and stay and play packages from $125. And submit your 2026 golf package requests early to guarantee choice dates. Plan your fall golf adventure today at islandresortgolf.com.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here for Guthrie and Fry. I love Guthrie and Fry. I've got their water softener, the salt delivered right to the basement. Their RO system, which filters the water in our house. What we drink, what we cook with, is crisp, clean, clear. It's Guthrie and Fry water conditionings, the best in the business. They also provide well pump system service, routine service, and emergency service for when you need it. They've been doing that since 1974. At Guthrie and Fry, they know that better water makes a big difference. The teams I trust are at Guthrie and Fry Water Conditioning. inning.
Back to Brewers Warmup on WTMJ.
Welcome back. I'm Dom Cotroneo. Our thanks to Caleb Durbin for joining us on the program as we get ready for Brewers Cardinals. And we're doing some scoreboard watching right now because things are getting tense in Queens. The Rangers took the lead in the top of the ninth inning on an RBI single from Wyatt Langford. It's 3-2 Texas heading to the bottom of the ninth inning. And now with 2 outs, Ronnie Mauricio extended the game with a base hit. And now there are men on the corners, 2 outs for Brandon Nimmo. So we'll give you the update on that once that game is either tied, over, or maybe go into extras, whatever may happen for the Mets, because they are living and dying with every single pitch right now. One thing that the Brewers are going through is a surplus of first basemen. Today, Jake Bauers gets another start there at first. He's been hitting the ball hard. We talked about it in my notebook yesterday, WTMJ.com, if you want to read that in the Brewers tab. Just, hey, have we noticed that Jake Bauers is raking? Like, he's averaging 96 miles an hour of exit velo right now in the month of September. He ripped a double again yesterday. That was 108 off the bat. He drew a walk. He had an easy day in the office. And I had a great conversation with him earlier today in the clubhouse just about the dynamic right now between the three of them. And that it's been very team first oriented, and he admitted, look, it would be easy for the competitor to come out and say, well, why are you pinch hitting me, man? Like, I'm already on base twice. But on this team, it's easier to swallow, and it's meant to be sort of, hey, they're always trying to put you in a position to succeed. They know this is your role, you know this is your role, and to be fired up and positive about it, the better the team is in the long run. Now, the adjustment has to come from maybe the guys that are used to playing every day. Manager Pat Murphy gave a little bit of an explainer on what goes into these conversations with having Andrew Vaughn, Jake Bauers, and Rhys Hoskins all on the roster at the same time.
It's toughest on Rhys because Rhys has always been a starting player, and and this year he's performed well. I think it's like a 750 OPS or something, and so that's if it wasn't for Vaughn's streaky month, whatever that was, I mean, it was incredible. So you got to make those type of moves, and now Bauers has just said, hey, wait a minute, don't forget me. And so we're just trying to thread the needle with that. It's not really 3 first basemen. It's Vaughn is our first baseman, and Bauers plays some and can pinch hit off the bench for anyone. And Hoskins will primarily be used off the bench.
So all that is to say, yeah, Rhys understands that he's coming off the bench, but again, depth needs to be preserved until the very last moment, because it just takes one rolled ankle, one misstep, one hit by pitch, and all of a sudden that depth is gone. And I think that's the Brewers' game plan from now until 2 weeks from tomorrow. That, hey, are they going to keep all 3 of them? Is something going to go wrong? Is something going to change? That all remains to be seen. But depth is never a bad thing. And you have depth until you don't. I mean, I've said that over and over and over again. It's a cliche, but it's true. You can sit here like, oh my gosh, why are they stockpiling? Why are they doing this? Well, you just don't know. And it's good to be prepared. You're talking to an ex-Boy Scout here as well. So Jake Bauers in the lineup once again today, playing first base. And quite frankly, he might be the best, defender of the 3 at first base. But don't ignore Andrew Vaughn's improvement over there at first base already as a Brewer. I think that's been a very important development for the crew in their question marks around first base, especially while Rhys was injured. We've still got more Brewers warm-up to come. Up next will be the news, and then we will talk a little bit about Jacob Misiorowski and what Murph sees his role to be in October. Now, that's still a little bit away, but with Misiorowski making his first of probably his final 3 or 4 starts of the season, this is going to be an evaluation period that's very important. So we'll have more Brewers warm-up on the other side of the news. We kick it back to our breaking news center. Here's Sean Brinda.
Thanks, Tom. Lead clinics are still moving forward. The Milwaukee Public School District announced that it would be hosting a lead screening clinic September 16th through the 18th. Thursday's clinic will take place at 53rd Street School from 2 to 7 p.m. Clinics at Morgandale and Elm Creative Arts School on Wednesday and Thursday will run from 4 to 7 p.m. The Milwaukee Health Department recommends that all elementary age students be tested for lead. These tests will help indicate whether a child's lead exposure falls within acceptable ranges or whether further monitoring or treatment is needed. Half of the MPS schools have been cleared of lead. The goal is to have all schools cleared by December. And one person is in the hospital after a hit and run took place between a motorcycle and a car Friday evening in the town of Moselle. The Sheboygan County Sheriff's Office reports that the crash took place near the corners of Dairyland Drive and Orchard Road at around 8:20 p.m. Deputies say upon initial investigation, a car driving southbound on Dairyland Drive passed the center lane and hit the motorcycle head-on. The motorcycle driver was taken to St. Vincent Hospital with severe injuries. A search for the hit-and-run vehicle is ongoing. And FEMA assistance is now available for those affected by historic flooding last month. President Trump declared a major disaster in southeast Wisconsin on September 11th. He unlocked $29.8 million in relief funds for victims of the flood. To apply, homeowners and renters should first file an insurance claim and will be asked to provide photos and receipts and documents that have been damaged. The deadline to apply is November 12th, 2025. For full instructions, visit WTMJ.com. All right, taking a look at your roads with your WTMJ time saver traffic. It looks like we have a couple of incidents out there. If you go on I-43 94 southbound, 1.1 miles beyond the ramp from Beecher Street, the right shoulder is blocked due to a disabled vehicle. Then further on 43 94 northbound, 0.5 miles beyond Howard Avenue, the right shoulder is blocked due to a crash. Other than that, roads are looking pretty clear across southeast Wisconsin. All right, time for your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight's going to be partly, mostly cloudy with a low of 62 degrees. Sunday's going to be sunny, warmer inland with a high of 78 degrees. Monday's going to be mostly sunny, warmer inland with a high of 78 degrees. Tuesday, mostly sunny with a high of 80 degrees. Wednesday's going to be mostly sunny with a high of 82 degrees. And Thursday, we'll get a chance for some showers with a high of 78 degrees. Right now, in Madison, it's currently 76 degrees. In Green Bay, it's currently 69 degrees. In Waukesha, it's currently 73 degrees. And right here in Milwaukee, it's currently 69 degrees. I'm Sean Brinda, Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 6:32.
Hi, this is Jeff Levering with the Brewers Radio Network. Ridgetop Exteriors, Wisconsin's trusted name in home improvement, does more than just top-quality roofing. They're your go-to for maintenance-free siding and energy-efficient windows, too. Ridgetop has expert credentials with leading manufacturers like Pella, James Hardie, and LP Smart Siding. For over 20 years, they delivered exceptional craftsmanship and service. Call Ridgetop Exteriors today or visit ridgetopexteriors.com. Ridgetop Exteriors, where customer service always comes first.
Ridgetop Exteriors.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
You gotta get to Built Right today. WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Built Right furniture, leather, mattresses. Built Right's biggest Labor Day sale ever. Plus, their $1 million clearance sell-off are held over. So if you are looking for affordable, better quality furniture or mattresses, you gotta do what my family does. We go to Built Right, love our new living room furniture, our son's sleeping on a new mattress, and most importantly, we enjoyed the shopping experience. 4 generations, 97 years strong and celebrating 19 years in that Greenfield location. 3rd and 4th generation family members right there in the store working alongside their amazing team. Get ready for your holiday guests with thousands of items in stock or custom order at a low sale price. USA made, small scale, Ohio Amish made, and real solid wood furniture. 60 models of USA made mattresses. Built Right always saves you money. Free in-store design services. Voted best place to shop. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday, closed to be with family. Make sure to tell them Vinny sent you. To Built Right, 54th and Layton Avenue in Greenfield.
Now, more of Brewers Warm-Up on WTMJ.
Welcome back. I'm Dom Cotroneo. All right, let's get to the bottom of this. The Brewers have clinched a postseason berth, but we already thought they woke up today having already clinched a postseason berth. The Mets lost. The Rangers win again. The Mets losing streak continues. Nonetheless, there's a great article in the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel from J.R. Radcliffe crunching the numbers. With all the tiebreakers and all the scenarios, the Brewers had clinched last night by winning. But now it's doubly official, and you can make it triply official today by getting a victory over the Cardinals with Jacob Misiorowski on the mound. So congratulations, the Milwaukee Brewers officially playoff bound once again. But now the bigger sight is the division. And another win today shrinks that magic number once again. It could go down to 8 by the end of the day with another victory. So the Brewers are right back in it. It's kind of crazy to think that after all the prognosticators did not think this was possible, that they're right back to the playoffs once again. The Brewers will use their young phenom, and again, coming off maybe his best outing of the second half, 7 innings, just 1 run allowed. There's questions about, well, is he going to start in the playoffs or is he going to be in the bullpen? What about his innings limit? Are you worried about him? What about his development? All these things, the evaluation period is near to an end. If we want to project things out, with him starting today, and the Brewers have already released their rotation next week with Freddie Peralta, Brandon Woodruff, Quinn Priester, and then they will head on the road to take on the Cardinals. He's probably going to make back-to-back starts against the Cardinals today and next Friday, and then that would also line him up to start the Friday here at American Family Field, given that the Brewers only have 13 games to go. So with Miz, I don't think there's really going to be a full governor on him, but more just about his pitch count. And like we saw, Quinn Priester only threw 88 pitches yesterday. Just make sure you're healthy and good to go. However, come playoff time, his role could change. Pat Murphy offered some explanation on what the definition of Jacob Misiorowski will be in the postseason.
I say evaluation period. Well, pitch good right now. Yeah. October, it's going to come whether we like it or not. I can't put a lot of time into that right now. Obviously, everything that's happening on the field is, put in consideration. In the playoffs, you're out getters in the playoff. You just get outs. How many you get, might be limited. And I think you think of him as, can he be one of our key out getters? And he'll reveal a lot of that coming up.
So Miz, again, we talked about it in our Thursday Brewers Weekly, just sort of projecting the playoff roster with 3 weeks to go, that the thought is he's going to go to the bullpen. And assuming health, that in the DS you only need 3 starters, where it would be Freddie Peralta, Quinn Priester, Brandon Woodruff, not necessarily in that order, but those 3 guys. But then you still have the length available in your bullpen where you're able to have 10 guys in your bullpen, and you get extra off days in the DS. Off day between Game 1 and Game 2, off day between Game 2 and Game 3, off day between Game 4 and Game 5. So the bullpen will stay very fresh. There's only 1 day needed to be a back-to-back. And you will have relievers, if it's a 5-game series, maybe pitch in all 5 games. So Jacob Misiorowski will be available in October, I imagine. Just make sure he gets there healthy enough. So the Brewers are postseason bound thanks to the Mets loss. The other game that we'll be keeping an eye on for the 1 seed, of course, is Phillies and Royals. That game's already wacky. It's 4-4 in the bottom of the 5th inning. Ryan Berger, the acquisition from the Padres at the trade deadline for the Royals, had a struggle, gave up 3 walks, 3 runs in 4 innings. Taijuan Walker gave up 4 runs in 5 innings and 7 hits, but they were not yet through the 5th inning in Philly. Also, again, reiterating, the Cubs already lost today by a 5-4 final at Wrigley. A couple of late home runs there. Over in the American League, the wild card's getting spicy. The Yankees have won each of the first 2 games against the Red Sox, creating some space between them and Boston for the top wild card spot. But behind that, it gets wonky. Now the Red Sox are up only a half game on the second-place team of the West, because right now the Astros and Mariners are tied, and then it'll be the Rangers. So we'll have all that to be broken down coming up on the On Deck Show on 620 WTMJ.
41 years. A lot has changed in the last 4 decades, and network health